If you look at your credit report and feel overwhelmed, you are not alone. You see closed account, you see charge-off, you see collections, you see balances that feels heavy. And your first instinct is simple. Just pay something. Pay whatever you can. Pay the smallest one. Pay the loudest collector. Pay the oldest account. Just start paying. Because paying feels productive. It feels responsible. It feels like forward movement. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Paying without strategy can slow your progress. Sometimes it does nothing. And sometimes it can actually hurt your score in the short term. And what makes this more complicated is that different scoring models treat this account differently. A payment that helps in one scenario may produce minimal change in others. That is why emotional payment decisions often lead to confusion afterward. In this video, I'm going to explain what closed account, charge-off, and all debt actually means. What they do to your approval, when paying helps, when paying does not help, and what to focus on first if your real goal is to rebuild leverage. Because rebuilding credit is not about paying randomly, it's about sequencing correctly. My name is Therese Tsague. I'm the founder of America Credit Game, and I help people rebuild credit through structure instead of emotion. One of the biggest mistakes I see is this. Someone look at their credit report and react. They choose a debt based on stress, not strategy. They pay a collection because it's calling daily. They pay a charge-off because it feels embarrassing. They close an old card because they are not using it. And then they check their score expecting a dramatical increase. Sometimes nothing happens. Sometimes the score drops temporarily and they feel defeated. The problem is not effort, the problem is order. Credit building is not a cleaning process, it's a positioning process. And positioning requires sequence. Let us first define what those accounts actually are. What is closed account? A closed account simply means the account is no longer active. It can be closed by you or closed by the lender. Not all closed accounts are negative. Some closed accounts are positive and remain on your report for years. A closed account with positive history can still support your age and payment record. In fact, positive closed accounts often continue contributing to your average age of credit and long-term payment history. So closing something is not always harmful, but closing something strategically matters. For example, closing a credit card with high available limits can reduce your overall available credit. That can increase your utilization ratio even if you do not add any more debt. Higher utilization can lower your credit score. So before closing any account, especially revolving account, evaluate how it affects your total available credit. Close it does not automatically mean bad. Uninformed closure can create unintended consequences. What is charge-off? A charge-off happens when a creditor writes an account as a loss after extended non-payment, typically after around 180 days. This does not mean the debt disappears. It means the lender classifies it as unlikely to be collected through normal payment activities. The balance may still be owed. It may continue reporting monthly. A charge-off is considered a major derogatory. It signals serious delinquency. But here's what many people misunderstand. The damage from a charge-off often occurs when it first becomes delinquent, not when you pay it later. That distinction matters. Credit scoring model reacts strongly to fresh delinquency. Over time, as the charge-off age, its impact gradually decreases. Paying it 3 or 4 years later does not erase the historically delinquencies. It updates the statute, but the history remains. So the question becomes not, should I pay it? But when does paying it improve my position most? Timing is strategy. What is a collection? A collection occurs when a debt is transferred or sold to a third-party agency. Collection can appear separately from the original account. Sometimes both the charge-off and the collection appear. That can look worse, even though it's tied to one debt. Collection signal unresolved debt. But how they impact your score depends on age, model, and reporting statute. Newer scoring models may treat collection differently than older models. Some ignore small pay collection, some mortgage models still weight them. That is why knowing your financing goal matters before you pay. You do not make a move without knowing which scoring model will evaluate you. The number one mistake, paying without strategy. Let us talk about the biggest mistake. Paying without a plan. Paying because you feel guilty. Paying because someone called aggressively. Paying because you think your score will jump instantly. Before paying anything, you must ask 3 questions. Will this payment reduce risk perception immediately? Will this payment improve approval hold? Will this payment remove leverage I currently have? There's also a 4th question most people ignore. Is this debt even the highest risk item in my report right now? Sometimes a small active max out credit card can hurt your score more than a 5-year-old collection. Sometimes missed recent payment are the biggest issue. If you cannot answer clearly, pause. Because movement without direction wastes energy. Now, when paying help. Paying can help when the debt is actively being pursued legally. Paying can help when you are preparing for a mortgage and underwriting required resolution. Paying can help when settlement remove underwriting pressure. Paying can help when overall it reduces financial strain and improve cash flow. Paying can also help when negotiated properly. For example, negotiating a pay-for-deletion agreement on a collection can remove the entire trade line from your report. That is very different from simply paying and updating to pay collection. Documentation matters, terms matter. Reporting language matters. Payment is not just about clearing balances. It's about how the update change your profile. When paying does little. Sometimes paying a very old charge-off does not produce a major score increase. Why? Because the negative impact occurred years ago. The scoring model has already absorbed that risk. Updating it to pay may not dramatically impact scoring. This surprises people. They expect a dramatic jump. But scoring is not emotional, it's mathematical. Age of negative item reduce impact over time. If an item is already scheduled to follow up in a year, strategy, patience may sometimes make more sense than urgency. Context determine timing. When paying can temporarily lower your score. Sometimes when you pay an old collection, the account update with new activities. That update can temporarily affect scoring. Not because paying is bad, but because the system registers new data. It may update last activity date. It may refresh reporting. That temporary fluctuation can matter if you are in the middle of a loan process. This is why timing matters. If you are about to apply for financing, updating an old derogatory right before application can complicate underwriting review. Sequence matters. The priority stack for rebuilding. If your goal is rebuilding, focus first on active positive behavior. On-time payment, low utilization, new positive account if needed, stability, then evaluate derogatory. Sometimes strengthening your profile impact more than paying everything immediately. Think foundation before cleanup. A stronger foundation can offset older negative more effectively than hand-on payment. How underwriting view closed account and charge-off. When applying for major loan, human underwriters sometimes review report. They look for pattern, they look for resolution, they look at recency. An old charge-off from 5 years ago may not carry the same weight as a recent one. A paid collection can look better than an unpaid one in manual review. But underwriters also consider explanation letter, current income stability, and recent credit behavior. Context matter, timing matter, your goal matter. Strategy depends on your goal. If your goal is long-term rebuilding over 2 years, strategy differs. If your goal is stopping lawsuit, strategy differs. There is not universal order, there is structural prioritization. Your credit profile is not repaired in isolation from your life goal. It must align with them. Before updating an old account, ask, is this within statute of limitation? Is there active legal risk? Will updating trigger collection attention? Sometimes contacting an old dominant account can restart collection effort. That does not mean avoid responsibility. It means evaluate timing carefully. Responsibility and strategy can coexist. Sequence for maximum impact. Step 1, stabilize current account. Step 2, reduce utilization. 3, build consistent payment history. Step 4, evaluate high-risk derogatories. Step 5, negotiate strategically if needed. 6, address lower impact age item last. This sequence reduces overall risk perception first, and then address cleanup. That order creates measurable progress. Why emotion causes bad order? Guilt causes rushing. Embarrassment causes rushing. Pressure causes rushing. But rebuilding credit is not about emotional relief. It's about structural positioning. Relief is temporary. Leverage is long-term. When you separate emotion from order, your progress becomes predictable. Your credit report is a risk profile. It tells lender how stable you are today. All mistakes matter less over time. Current behavior matters more. Strong current behavior can outweigh all negative. That is encouraging because it means you are not trapped, you are repositioning. And repositioning takes sequence. Closed accounts are not automatically bad. Charge-off are serious, but age reduces impact. Collection must be evaluated strategically. The biggest mistake is paying without a plan. Rebuilding is about sequence. Stability first, strategy second, cleanup third. When you move with structure instead of emotion, progress becomes predictable. And predictable progress builds leverage. If you need help reviewing your report and building a personalized priority stack based on your goal, click the link down below and check if you qualify for a personalized credit section with America Credit Card. We do not rush payment. We design strategy because strategy creates leverage and leverage creates approval. Move with knowledge, not panic. That's how you win. Thank you for watching.